There you go. On a Wednesday evening when everyone else is watching Manchester United probably going to get thrashed by Bayern Munich, how Arsenal may not win against PSV, me and Mia are talking about a bald-headed fella from North London. But maybe he's changing these ways. Who knows? But welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present, and a very, very didgeridoo future. Joining me tonight, of course, is not my usual co-host, Philip. Philip is tonight doing something he normally does on the Wednesday. He's been a sex symbol. And, do you know, I've been told, Mia, that I've been sexist by just sticking it to the 70s and the 60s and 70-year-olds. So I am now broadening the horizon. Philip is now a sex symbol for all female kind. So that's what he's up to tonight with his big medallion. But anyway, Mia, how are you? From Spurs Between the Lines, as Mia has given a head a wobble, as she's saying it.
I mean, thinking of him as a sex symbol just makes me feel a bit... Ew, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, bless Philip. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
If he's watching me now, he probably will be jocking something at the telly.
Yeah, sorry, Philip.
Sorry, Philip. Couldn't resist it. But look, I made him, to me, somebody described him once, Mia, as the Elvis Presley of our channel. Now, there you go. There's a compliment in itself.
I mean, it's a compliment if it's the first part of Elvis Presley, but not the latter. I think the latter part of Elvis Presley wasn't such a great endorsement.
Well, to be fair, he was ill. He did have a twisted colon. He did have he had, and also he liked his bit of.
I was about to say, I'm sure that all of his mischief didn't really help him in his latter years.
No, it didn't. But anyway, good evening, Mia. How are you? Are you a happy Spurs fan tonight?
Yeah. Every time I hear Ange speak, I just want to hug him. And yeah, I think it was last night or the night before, Jacob said it on his channel. He was like, what would you do if you saw Ange? I was like, I'd ask him go out for a Greek coffee and then just, go and get some souvlaki, go and get some shrimp on the barbie. Mate, I would love it. I would love to have a chat, a chin wag with him. I think it'd be wicked.
You'd stick him in your dungeon, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't do that. That's reserved for very special people.
Yeah, that is so true. But anyway, let's see who's in the chat tonight. We've got Wayne Bonner. Good. Sorry, just for a minute, Mia, just read out the chats there for us.
Okay, we've got Wayne Bonner going, good evening, everyone. How are you all? We are good, Wayne Bonner. I hope you're very well this evening. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. And then we've got DJ Samuel saying, good evening, Dermot and beautiful Mia. Oh, DJ. I don't know about that one. I think you probably need to go Specsavers, but it's all good. Thank you for the compliment. So, Dermot, are you there? Are you ready?
Yeah, just take it over. Just read that for a minute, Mia.
So,
please.
Daniel Levy reveals Tottenham have a Harry Kane buyback clause. Now, I spoke about this on my channel. I don't know how you lot feel about it. Personally, me, I'm not enamoured with the idea because I feel like by the time he comes back to us, he's going to be a lot older. I don't know if we've still got Postecoglou. Will he still fit in at Tottenham? And do we really want to become the Harry Kane show again? I'm not too keen on the idea. And maybe I'm just not not really a sentimental person, but for me, I just don't think it's a good idea, in my honest opinion.
Look, for me, Mayor, it was the bare minimum he had to put in that contract. It was the bare minimum was a buyback, and he only done that to appease the fans. Let's not sugarcoat it, Mayor. He didn't do that for the good of himself or the good for Harry Kane or the good for Tottenham Hotspur. He done that to appease the fans. And look, it is a good thing as well, because maybe it would be lovely to see Harry finish his career at the club. But look, Teddy Sheringham went away, Mayor, and one stuffer came back.
And when he came back, it was a massive mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you, but Teddy Sheringham wouldn't class as a Tottenham legend, would you?
No, I guess not. But you're on mute. Oh, it's gone. Okay, let's get down to some chat while we're here. Are the Scum 5-0 down yet? No, not yet. It's still 0-0, Wayne. So I'm watching it as well. So I'll keep you informed.
Yeah, and we've got Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Sandover. Good evening, one love, boys. Big up, Daniel. Hope you're doing well. And big up to Wayne. And big up to DJ Samuel as well. Look, Mia, very quickly on that. Let us know in the chat what you think. But do you think it was more of a Levy covering these bases?
Yeah, maybe he wanted to win favour with fans who were upset about Harry Kane leaving. As somebody who wasn't that upset about it, I guess that maybe I'm a bit of a cold-hearted person where I don't think it's a good idea and I don't want him back. But yeah, I definitely think he did it to appease fans because they were all a lot of fans were so upset that he had left. So this is a way to appease them, I guess.
I think it is now. The latest injury news as for Miss Arsenal. Perisic is one which broke today, Mia, which I think is a big loss for us because he was coming on and doing games for us. But Lo Celso boost and he could Bentacle wait. So, but it says here Lo Celso could be available for the North London derby against Arsenal. Firstly on Perisic, Mia, a big loss I think for Tottenham because I think he'd been
a massive loss. Yeah, a massive loss. You know what else he brings, Dermot? He brings that kind of older head, a bit more level-headed, a lot more experience. So when you put him on the pitch, it's somebody who's got a lot of experience behind him. And I think we're going to miss that massively, not having that ability to bring someone on like that, especially towards an end of a game where you're trying to win a game or keep hold of the game where you are winning. So I think it would be a huge loss for us, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really disappointed, Perisic. Look, it's one of these freak injuries that happen. So I also got big up to Chris Peters as well. Ari wanting Man U. Don't want him back. Big up, Chris. Haven't seen you in the chat before, so please hit that like button and
he actually said Manu.
But big up, Chris. Nice to see you in. Haven't seen you before, so please hit that like button, subscription button, and also hit that notification bell to when we're on next. Plenty more content coming up this week as we all move up to the North London derby. Right, Mia, we're going to crack into it now. And this was the first bit. It has been 6 years since the previous fans forum. And the Tottenham chairman spoke about the intervening years. Now, this is what he said. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to read out what he said. Then me and Neil, we help as well in the chat. Get your questions in. Please either get your super chats in or pick up your memberships as well. It does help the channel grow. And we're going to try to really see, did Levy do it his way? Or is Levy now doing it our way? So firstly, Mia, it says the Spurs chairman also believes that... Oh, hang on. That's the wrong one. There we go. There's the right one. First off, it's hard to believe it's been 6 years since we were last together. In that 6 years, we've opened the stadium. We've had the pandemic. We've got into a final of the Champions League. Unfortunately, we didn't win it. And then we came back here. We got Ange. Lots of things have happened, he said. I think people will never really appreciate how difficult the pandemic was for us. We had just opened the stadium. We had at that time. We still do have more debt. We still do have more debt than any other club in Europe. Luckily, it's all a long-term finance, but all of the sudden, we didn't have any income. The whole financing of the stadium was predicting on having income. It just stopped. Luckily for us, we were very highly regarded in the financial markets, and we were managed to get some assistance to enable us to keep us going. And then he finishes up very quickly. It was a very, very stressful period. Luckily, the institutions that originally helped us refinanced the debt, and we repaid the Bank of England of the cost of 200 million. And it just goes on. It says, even though it's a positive feeling around Spurs, not at least because of the arrival of Postecoglou, his exciting brand of attacking football, it's simple. We've got our Tottenham back, said Levy. I just feel that we're seeing football that we used to see. That's all that we want, to see the players give everything and play attacking football. And it goes on about the fans there in the stadium on non-match days at the training centre we're together. It's so noticeable. Mia, what do you think to this first bit? Were we very close, Mia, of going? Were we close to going out of business, Mia?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
And do you think it was really kept under the carpet? We were close to going to the wall by the sounds of that.
Yeah, it don't sound good. And just that you guys know, I actually hurt my hand from bashing my desk because the scumbags have gone 1-0 up.
Oh.
So I just hurt my hand doing that because I got really angry.
Is that what's in the background, the match?
No, that's Alexander watching something.
Okay.
Sorry, I tell you, you've got it quite low. It's just because it sounds loud, I think. Yeah, I think that we financially, I think the best person to handle these situations is actually Daniel Levy. So if anybody was going to make sure they could work a way out to make sure that we didn't go underboard, I think that it would be him. So I think that, yeah, he did a really good job. I don't know how close we were to really being that bad with the finances, but he managed to work it out because people underestimate how much of an effect that the pandemic actually had, to be honest.
It really did, Mia. I mean, people seem to forget a lot of clubs nearly went out of business. A lot of the lower clubs did, and even the bigger clubs. I mean, we've got Stephen Thomas says, reading the statement, he's still got a pay rise, so the finances can't be that bad. But Mia, Stephen, if you're a club taking in over £1 million a game, and suddenly we had the pandemic, which seems a lifetime ago now, Mia, and you've got no income coming in, and everything stopped, and you've got to pay back a debt, which was the largest debt, I think, in Europe. Does he deserve some credit for seeing us through that bit of tough time, or really could he have built the stadium in a better time, financial time?
I suppose the pandemic wasn't something we all kind of foresaw to come. So it was really difficult, you know. It was very, very difficult. He didn't know what was going to happen. Yeah. It just so happened that we built our stadium and then the pandemic came straight after. So, yeah, it was a difficult thing, isn't it? And the fact is that we managed to deal with it, whatever way we dealt with it, and the stadium was refinanced and very smartly, and it's all good.
It is all good. We've got DJ Samuel saying if that was the 90s, we probably would have gone bust. Yeah, I think we would have done. If we had this pandemic at the time, Mia, we were having problems with Midland Bank, I think there'd be no Tottenham Hotspur now. And then we've got Wayne Bonner. Levy wouldn't let the club come even close to going out of business. The club is secure. I have no doubt measures were out in place. Probably true as well, Wayne. And then we've got Mr. E. He says, DHFC till I die. Hey, Dermot. Hey, Mia. And we've got Chris Peter's here. We've got Levy needs to pee off. Hate his management talk. He says what he thinks we want us to hear. It's all about the entertainment business. If he really cared about the football inside, he'd invest in the club. Well, he has invested in the club. How do you think we've bought these new players? How do you think we've backed Ange in this transfer market? By paying pittance, by paying monopoly money. He has invested in the club. Maybe not to the strength of a Man City or a Newcastle or teams like that. But we can't go with teams like a Man City or a Newcastle. They're state owned. We can only go within our budget, and that's our budget. We have a debt to pay. Yes, we shouldn't have. We shouldn't have got ourselves in debt. Well, we did build a new stadium. We needed it, but we have invested. Now, we spent the money badly. I agree with you, but we have invested. Mia, what do you say to Chris to that? Is that being a bit harsh, or is he like Mr. He says he agrees with Chris?
What I would say is that when you look at our financial situation, when you look at how much we spend on getting players and player wages, we do actually spend a majority of the money that comes in on players, basically on their wages and on their and on buying them. So it is a big majority of money that goes that way, but don't forget the club has other things that they have to pay for, but the majority is actually players. And we haven't invested, we've invested money, but it's just not always the correct players for the correct time, place. You know, there's lots of different factors to why it's failed. But overall, if you look at our spend, we've spent a lot of money. It's just like I say, it's been over the years spent. A lot of it has been spent incorrectly, and I'm happy to put my hands up and say that every time I will say that. But like I say, it isn't like it's not like we haven't spent. It's just that we've not spent wisely.
We have spent over the close of a net spend over 600 million since 2018-2019 season. And look, I agree. Look, Wayne Bonner says here, Mayor. Oh, Mr. Here, Wayne Bonner says here, with investment they spent well in the summer, bought in good players, but they need to maintain that level of recruitment. That I fully agree with.
100%. Yeah, 100%, Wayne.
Fully agree with that. And then, Mr. E, is there something else I agree with as well? Ticket prices going up for members higher after a dog poor season. Look, we all agree that the ticket prices should not be put up. It's something we are going to get into later in the show. But very quickly, Mia, it should not have been done in the first place.
Yeah, I see it in two ways. As a fan, I'm absolutely no, the ticket prices shouldn't go up because I'm a fan and I don't want to see that happening. But when you look at the financial side of things, I can see why it was done. I'm not agreeing with it being done, but I can see it from a business point of view. And people are going to hate me for it and disagree, but I can sort of understand when you look at the finance side of things and how, you know, with things going up in price, and we don't pay for football because we're not going to be paying for the football that we just watched. We're going to be paying for the football that we are watching. And you don't know what football you're going to get that day, I suppose.
I agree.
It's really hard.
I agree with you as well, Mia, that with the climate, with the crunch now, like all the electricity and everything going up and everything like that. And I do agree with you in that way, Mia. I do understand what you're saying. We understand it's not running a football club is a very tricky business because you can make one bad decision and end up going down a road for years and years and years. You look at clubs, you look at Newcastle, they were a yo-yo club, say 10 years ago. Last night, it was the first time in 20 years they've been in the Champions League. And they weren't financed properly. Look, Levy I can criticize Levy for the mistakes he's made, Mia, but also I will praise him for the things he's done. One trophy in 22 years isn't good enough. You and me will both agree on that. But
Yeah.
we can, if we were to match a Man City or a Newcastle who are state owned by oil rich countries, Mia, we can't do that. We can't match that. So we have to match what we can do. For putting the ticket prices up, I agree with you. The fans, it's ridiculous. It's priced me out of going to Tottenham this year. I can only go to one game this year now, and it's because I have to get plane tickets and go over, and it's nearly €300-400 for me to get a flight there and back. I get from the airport down to the Tottenham ground, get in, have a few pints, buy a program, have something to eat, and then come home again. I'm out €400. And that's including the match ticket. So that's priced me out of going straight away. It's people that go with their families, Mia. It's people that go with their sons or their daughters. They want something from the club shop. They want a program. They want something to eat. They want something to drink. You wouldn't lose much change out of £200-300. Families can't afford that. Families can't afford to splash out that, and it's only the people that can afford now, Mia, is the people that are well off. The normal.
I don't think that's true. I feel like that's untrue. I think there's plenty of fans.
It's not true. Hang on, Mia.
No, hold on a second. Let me finish.
Let me.
My point.
Let me just stop you on one point. What I said about me coming over, that is true.
Yeah, but you're one person. That's anecdotal. That's not the majority of people. That's one person. So what I will say to you is that there's still plenty. Like, even if the tickets went up by £5, £10, it could still price some people out of going. Right? That is just unfortunately what happens. But to say that only people with money go to the stadium and the people that are fans don't. I've got to not fans that don't, but I feel like that's not true. There's still plenty of fans that go to the games, and I don't know if it's I don't think it's pricing out people completely, because there are people who still go.
Right. Let me ask, could you afford to go with say you and Jack and say you and Jack bought a couple of kids with you, right? And could you afford to go as brother and sister, bringing your nieces and nephews with you? Could you afford to do that every game, or would you look at it thinking, right, we can only do this as a one-off, one day out?
Don't forget, every game, the people who got season ticket holders, they didn't get the increase. People who buy their tickets, I don't know if they're likely to buy, because they won't be able to get away games, so it'll be home games only.
That's
right?
What I meant. That's what I meant.
At home games only, because I didn't have a season ticket, I wouldn't go to every game. No, just purely because of the time, travel. Because I live further away now, it's a lot more difficult for me.
So the ticket price rise wouldn't come into your calculation for not going to games. It's because of
if I wanted to go, I'd make sure that I made sacrifices in other areas. Not that I really go out or do anything.
Yeah, well, I know.
So but my problem would be is the travel up there. It's a lot more difficult, and that costs obviously money.
It does, which, as well, Mia.
Adds to it. But if I really wanted to go, I would obviously sometimes I would like maybe sacrifice, but not everyone can sacrifice. But what I'm trying to say to you is that people making it so they think only rich people go, but I don't believe that to be true. I think that a lot of people still manage to go to the games. You know.
Well, Mia, you couldn't say right. I stand by what I said. It is people that can afford to go. I'm not saying they're rich, but they can afford to go. If you've got somebody on minimum wage with the 2 kids and they want to go to a Spurs game for their birthday, could that person, because of the hike in the ticket prices, could he now afford to take his child or his daughter to that game And if they're struggling, like we all know electricity has gone up, we all know fuel has gone up, we all know food prices have gone up. And I suppose on the flip side of that, Mia, when you say about Tottenham putting up the ticket prices, you bring that into the conversation as well, because they have to pay electricity, they have to pay food prices, they have to pay fuel, they have to cover themselves. So I get what you're saying in that, Mia, and in some ways I probably agree with you in some of it. But what I don't agree with, Mia, is I feel it is pricing out the working man. Maybe the middle income families that can afford it can go, but I'm talking about the working class people that can't afford to go anymore. And that for me is a shame, because you go to Tottenham now, Mia, and you watch them on telly. Majority, I went to Tottenham against AC Milan, and I saw more fans from abroad. Now you could class me as a fan coming in from another
Be
country.
careful what you're saying about fans abroad, because you're one of them. And to judge other fans from abroad when you're one from abroad,
hang on,
I
Mia,
think
you haven't let me finish.
a
So
bit
please
hypocritical.
just let me finish. I'd be one of them myself, and you can't. I was going to say you can't blame them, but I just feel it's pricing out the working man, the working family out of the game. Now, you probably go to a championship or a League One side for more working class people there than you do in a Premier League game. So that's my point, Mia. I agree with you on the point where I know things have gone up and things have gone expensive. I agree with that, but I just feel the working class person has been priced out of the game, where a middle class family and a very people that are in good jobs can afford, saying if I wanted to bring my young lads to the game, I couldn't afford that. And I think it's wrong. I think ticket prices should be brought down. I think they should be made affordable for everyone,
But
not
they
just.
can't be affordable for everyone. My point would be is that there's always going to be somebody who can't afford them. Like to make them affordable, they'd have to be free, because what you can afford might not be what I can afford. So I'm going to be priced out and you're not. Like, the fact is, there's always going to be somebody who is unable to pay for tickets because they're priced out. That's my point.
Yeah, I agree. I know where you're getting at, Mia, and I probably agree with most of what you're saying. It's just that I feel. Do you feel right? I'm talking about the whole Premier League and the whole. Then we're going to go on to the fan forum. Do you feel most clubs in the Premier League have priced out the working people, working class people?
No, I still think working class people go to games, though. That's what I'm saying. I just think you're assuming that everyone who can't, like, there's still working class people who can't go to games, which I don't personally think it's true. I think there's plenty of people who are still able to go. And what you class as working class, do you know what I mean? Like, it might not, it's maybe different for you than what I think it is.
Yeah.
But
One last question this, Mia. Would you have put up, right, the people that can buy season tickets and well afford season tickets, should their prices have been put up and the ticket prices should have been left alone?
That's a really difficult question, because then the people will also say that people who get season tickets can't afford to go. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact is, right, is that the money has to be generated. So what happens is that we froze the prices for quite a long time. I think it was like 4 years or something like that, that we actually did freeze the prices at a time where we weren't getting a lot of money into our stadium. Now we have to make sure that we can get money, and we are trying to have other avenues of financial support. However, like, it's unfortunate that we have to do those things, like put up prices. And like I said, as a fan, do I want to see it? Absolutely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely not. But as a business person, if I was going to take my Tottenham hat off and see it as purely a business, I understand it. And what your logic coming in saying, like I say, I don't find the logical reason for them as a business to say we're not going to put prices up. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
I
Not
agree
that I
with you.
agree. I'm
No.
just playing like, you know, a bit of like the other side of the coin sort of thing.
Yeah, if you put your business hat on, you probably would go along them roads, me. And I think that I agree with you from a business side, from a financial side, from a business side. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I don't disagree with that. I think from a fan side and a Tottenham fan side and a football fan side, I just feel that we're being. I think some fans are being priced out now. As you well rightly say, Mia, what I can afford, you probably couldn't. What you can afford, I probably couldn't. So it flips. It flips on. It flips one side to the other. But look, football should be there for everyone, Mia. It should be there. And I just feel ticket prices have just got so way out of hand. So way out of hand. And look, it's a subject we'll probably go on to again and again. We've got a few comments here, Mia, and we've got my issue with Levy is he wants to run the buying of players thinking it's an investment. Hands off and let the managers find the players he wants, not Levy. Do you agree with Chris on that, Mia, or do you?
No, because I think that Postecoglou has come out and said that he got players that he wanted.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that all the players that he's been bought and doesn't want or is unhappy with. He said he's happy, but he understands it's going to take a bit longer than one window to get a full squad. So no, I don't quite agree with that. And also backing the manager is subjective. People do it in hindsight a lot of the time. If a player doesn't work out, they say, oh, it was a Levy buy, you know, stuff like that. So I feel in this moment, everything that Postecoglou is telling us is that he's happy. So we have to go with that, surely.
And he looked quite happy last night, to be fair. He also says, he answers this to Rain Bonner, we need to get back to old school managers with scouts like in the 70s and 80s. Birkinshaw, Nicholson and Clough and Peter Taylor would not put up with it. This I agree with, Mia, very much so. I agree with this view. You look at the older managers now. Look, I can remember a Brian Clough, so can you, Mia. Bill Nicholson, Keith Birkinshaw. Everything was done through the youth system. And then whatever a senior player went out, Mia, there was always a player to take his place. I think that's been lost somewhere along the roots of how football is now. Instead of trying to bring in a young player to do the job, they just go out and spend money. Do you think Postecoglou is that type of manager to bring in the youngsters? And I'll tell you one thing: our academy teams are playing very well this season, and a 5-0 win last night as well. Absolutely fantastic result.
Yeah, fantastic for the boys. It was against Colchester, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, no, they did very good. Like, to me, honestly, I think that we have got a gem in Postecoglou who does like to do that. I'm going to be honest. I think he's all, because they said that anyway about the youth in the forum, and Levy said that he is perfect for that. And Postecoglou said that he likes bringing through youth players. So, yeah, absolutely.
Bayern Munich are 1-0 up, by the way, Mia.
2-0 up.
2-0 up.
now.
Are they 2-0 now? Don't tell me Harry Kane scored.
No, it was Gnabry. It's Sane and Gnabry have scored so far.
Chris now 2-0. And DJ Samuel, he made a lovely comment. He says, great opinions. And that's one thing with us, Mia, we always give we agree, but we come out at different angles. So
yeah, I try and be fair with my opinions, and I try and come at it from a different angle. And people might take it a bit wrong and be like, oh, she's defending Daniel Levy or whatever. But it's not. It's just that sometimes I like to look at a bit more outside the box point of view.
We've always said, Mia, if he deserves praise, we'll praise him. If he deserves criticism, we'll criticise him. It's not just one way or the other. It's a 50-50 two-way street here. And DJ Samuel says, if Tony was a Tottenham Hotspur player, how do we know he hasn't placed a bet? That's so true. That's so true. Anyway,
I'm going to
look,
put a bet on it now, DJ.
now, Mia, Daniel Levy admits mistakes with Conte, Mourinho, and decision he does not regret the Super League. Now, let me just go back to the beginning here. Now, look, he said in a way, maybe you'd be surprised by my answer, but I want to win as much as everybody else. He then said, but the frustration of not winning and the pressure from maybe some players, that was a very poignant point in that, Mia. Some players. Now, I'm just going to ask you a question. Is that the likes of Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, who went up to him and said, get rid of Nuno? Are these the same players that don't try on the pitch but will go and bitch and moan to Levy when they're not getting their way? Do you think that's what he's trying to say there?
No, not at all. I took it completely different. They're players who are pressurising him because they want to win something, because he's talking about winning. And they're players who put pressure on him because they also want to win. That's how I took it.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'll take it a different way, but maybe you're right, mate. Maybe you're right. And from a large element of the fan base that we need to win, we need to spend money. We need to have a big manager. We need to have a big manager. It affected me. I had to go through a period where we almost won with Pochettino. We went through some very good times. We didn't quite get there, but we came very close. We had a change in strategy. The strategy was, let's bring in a trophy manager. We did it twice. And look, you have to learn from your mistakes. There are great managers, but maybe not for this club. For what we want and what we want to play in a certain way, if that means it has to take a little bit longer to win, maybe it's the right thing for us. That's why bringing Anjan was, from my point of view, the right decision. So he's saying there, Mia, look, we went the route of Conte and we went the route of Mourinho, but it wasn't the right decision. Is that Levy now officially admitting, look, I'm holding my hands up, I cocked up here. We made a mistake and we haven't got it right? Or is it a case of it was him that let them down, not the other way around?
I'm going to be honest and say that I think he probably didn't go far enough with trying to say he made mistakes. I think he could have gone further. I think that he probably could have expressed it slightly better and said it. And yeah, I think that he is somewhat saying he messed up. He definitely is. But I don't think it's quite enough. I think he probably could have said it a little bit more. Other people commented that in my chat when I spoke about it, and I do agree. I think he probably was a bit being a bit subtle with his apology. He could have just said, I'm sorry, and he didn't, you know.
We've got two comments here. We've got Chris saying, this is why I hate Levy. Super League was just money for him. We're going to get our thoughts on the Super League in a minute. We've got Wayne Bonner. I don't give two craps about the Super League. Bad idea. I can see the Saudi League getting involved and proving its motive. It's simple money. Yeah, well, look, Wayne, for me, the Super League is going to be the reincarnation of the Champions League, and that's what it is going to be. So, look, we're going to the second part. He said, Mia, on the Super League, said, firstly, under the new rules with the Premier League, we cannot consider leaving the Premier League without their consent and the FA's consent, he explained. All I would say to you is that we always acted in the best interests of this club, and I stand by that decision that we made, that we were prepared to have a conversation regarding the European Super League. It was not leaving the Premier League. It was about forming a new European League that would have continued at the same time as the Premier League. But we felt that it was a disaster from a lot of reasons. But I stand by my decision that I was acting in the best interest of the club. Mia, was he acting in the best interest of the club, the best interest of himself? Or was it, as Chris says, was it just all money to him?
I think it was money, I'm not going to lie. And I think him coming out and saying this now after the fact is a bit of a cheek. That he kind of is saying, oh, I did it in the best interest, and blah de blah. I think it's a bit of a him revising history a little, in my opinion.
Yeah. Look, for me, the Super League, Mia, was a disaster. I mean, every other owner, Liverpool came out and apologized to their fans. I think I forget who else came out. Was it the Glazers come out and apologized to the United fans? Levy never bothered. Levy went hiding. And it took the fans, Mia. It took football fans to put a stop to this. Do you know? It really did. And I think it's a cheek. I think he's really out of touch, Levy, on this. I think he's deluded. Do you know? This wasn't in the best interest of our club going into a European Super League. Not one way was it a good idea. And for me, it was a bad thing to do. We would have had to leave the Premier League. The Premier League would not have allowed us to stay in the league if we were going to go into this Super League. Let's not be any mugs about it. They would have got rid of us. And where we would be left playing in a league with no relegation, no promotion. Do you know, I hope never, ever to see the Super League rise up again. I mean, it's still there. It's still in the background. It's still worming its way. Don't think this has gone. It hasn't gone. It will come back in another form. As I say, the Champions League now is probably the new formation of the Super League. But for Levy to say he doesn't regret taking us into it, he did it in his best interest, I think it's the biggest load of crap I've ever heard in my life. And I think Levy does. I think we never got a proper apology for what he did. And he needs to give us one. He really does, Mia. Look, do you think we need an apology?
I think that he again probably should have maybe put it slightly differently. I think that, like I say, he's doing a bit of revisionism and trying to say now that he did it. And I just think that he probably should have come up with something slightly better than that for that answer.
Yeah. Now he went on about the managers. He said he was asked about the appointment of Ange Postecoglou. And he added, it feels like a lifetime ago now. Actually, it was a very easy because Ange, and I would say, is just a normal bloke. It was wonderful to able to have a conversation with him where we could talk about anything. And he was very direct and honest, like someone who just tells me as it is. Well, I bet you Conte did that a few times. And look what happened to Conte. No one that plays games. Now, do you think he's talking about Conte there, Mia, with the games?
Yeah, I don't think Conte actually told him. I don't think Conte was as straight-laced as what people say. I don't think he was as straight up front as what people make him out to be. And I do think he's having a little dig, because I do think that Conte did talk in riddles, and Conte made a lot of people unhappy at the club. So I don't think that really Conte is a really somebody that we can really say was good for our club at all. And is a breath of fresh air. He does say how it is. We all love him. Every time he talks, we're all loving him. So I think Levy's just bought into Big Ange just as much as we have, to be honest with you, by the sounds of it.
It does. And he says the one thing to someone else. He says that says one thing to me and then one thing to someone else. I'm not talking about anyone else. Yeah, sure you're not. I know you're talking about Conte. This club needs to go back to its roots. Honestly, there was a lot of pressure on me to bring in somebody that was a big name. I just wanted somebody who understood our DNA, would play attacking football, that would give the young players a chance, believing in the academy, would build a relationship with the fans and understand the resources that we don't have as a club, and be part of a team. And I have to say, it's a breath of fresh air. Do you think, Mia, that Ange is coming? Ange is the right man for us at this time.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's all fitting into place. And I've said that for a while, that I feel like he is the correct jigsaw piece to fit into the puzzle. I really do.
Yeah. We've got Mr. E. He's saying, Juve playing in half-empty stadium against AC Milan last season was funny. Pretty certain the supporters won that one. They were all outside protesting. Juve owners caused the big fines, not fans. And then Chris actually goes, look, I don't, look, the last bit, you want to call me a happy clapper, call me a happy clapper. I don't care. I really don't give a shit. It says, Mr. E, Spurs supporters will never not go. They will never not go. They do not care about the underlying issues. Happy clappers. I think that's a bit harsh. I think we all do care. I think I care. Mia cares about the club. We care what happens to our football club. You Tottenham Hotspur is part of our family. It's another extension to your life. Look, I've been supporting them 42 years. Mia's been supporting them probably nearly 30 years. So we do care, don't we, Mia? We care what happens to our club.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think that anybody should tell anyone else how they should and shouldn't support our club. That's how I honestly, personally see it. If people obviously want to go to there and they protest in the stadium by singing Levy Out, by chanting, by putting the balloons out, or whatever it is, that's obviously up to them to do that. If they want to go to the stadium and go outside and protest, that's up to them. Nobody should tell anybody how they should and shouldn't support their club. And that's just me personally. I don't tell other people to do it, and I don't appreciate when people try and tell me how I should support my club.
And I stand by you 100%. Look, I've seen Tottenham nearly go out of business. I can remember going to bed as a young teenager wondering, do I have a football club in the morning to support? Lived through that. Lived through that turmoil. Lived through that heartache. Lived through that. I'm not going to support anyone else because the team I love and the team I support might not be here in the morning. That for me was the biggest thing for me and why I love my club. But I'm not going to have anyone tell me how to support my football club. If I come over from Ireland and go to a game, and I don't want to go and protest, I just want to go there and watch my team play, I will go and watch my team play. Doesn't make me any less of a fan because I have a different view to somebody else on Levy, just because I'm in the middle. And I as I said, I'll give him praise when it's due and I'll criticize him when he does need criticizing. But doesn't make me any less of a fan, and nor it does Mia. Me and Mia both deeply care about our club, and Mia knows how much I care about Spurs. I know how much she cares about Spurs. We've got a few comments here. He says, no, I'm talking about the once a year supporters, not the hardcore. So what do you mean by once a year supporters?
Anyway, let's not get into this, guys. So I just think that we're just going to go over, like, it's difficult. People love our club, and like I say, everybody supports them. They've all got their own path, but we've all got the same destination, which is the success at Tottenham. That's all I will say. And sometimes our paths cross because we agree on stuff. Sometimes our paths don't cross on the stuff we don't agree on. So it's fine.
Yeah, I just love to know what they meant by once a year supporting me. I just love to know what they meant.
But you're going to carry on. Okay.
Yeah, I just, I just felt, whatever. I'm not bothered. I know what you're getting at, though, Mia. Thank you. You drew me back there from getting into something that probably a dark hole, and you dragged me back there like a good co-host does. Thank you, Mia. I've supported for 50 years and went back to in the 80s and was a season ticket holder for 3 years till I was priced out. Yeah, fair enough. Tequila, hello, Levy Out. That is all. Hello, Tequila. He says, hey, I'm at least a twice a year supporter. Maybe 3 times if possible. Anyway, trust Tequila. You still there, Mia?
Tequila's always coming in with the comments.
Yeah.
I love Tequila.
I love Tequila too. I really do. And I want to say big up to Pacifit. What's that word, Mia? Sorry,
Identitration. Joe, what? I haven't got a clue how I'd even
Anyway,
say
I'm going to
that.
call you. I'm going to call you Pav. There you go. We're going to call you Pav. What do you reckon?
No, PAS, because it's PAC.
Okay, we're going to call you Pac.
Oh no, let's not do that. No, let's not do that. I don't know.
We'll call him
Just
Pac-Man.
pacifist.
We'll call him Pac-Man. There you go. Hope that's not offended you. But love from Uruguay. Wow. We've been watching from South America, Mia. See?
Wow, Uruguay. Cool.
Romero's getting out the old Texas. He's sending out SOSs. Now, it was also, this is another sort of question, Mia. It was asked about the naming rights and the deal for the stadium in the past 4 years, and would have negated that the need for extra income onto the supporters. Now,
Are you there? I think he's frozen. Oh no. I've been left in charge again, guys. Yes, it's Bentancur is Europe from Uruguay. Nunes is from Uruguay as well. So, I don't know what is going to happen, because once he drops out, I believe that will go. So, Suarez is from Uruguay. We're just naming Uruguayan players, I think, right now. Why the heck not? As I am in charge. And if you haven't already, go over to Spurs Between the Lines, give myself a cheeky plug while I'm on my own. And yeah, make sure you go over and give me a subscribe. So guys, so some naming rights is the next thing we are going to be talking about. Get your chats in. Make sure you tell us exactly what you think about the naming rights, whether you agree with what's been said or don't agree.
Sorry about that, Mia. Leave you good into my computer when I name this leave you rights.
I am still wearing the purple hoodie from earlier, but it's when I've got to put the light on in the evening. I get really sore eyes, so I've switched my camera off. But if I look, I am still wearing my purple Tottenham hoodie.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Still wearing it.
Big up, Mia. Yeah, we just want to take that off there. Where is it now? And then we read out on our naming rights. Mia, can you read that out just for a minute? And
gosh, that's a big space. I can actually see it. On our naming rights, it's quite a complicated process. Unfortunately for us, we got interrupted by COVID. To do a naming rights deal, it's got to be done with a company coming to visit the stadium and experiencing it. So that interrupted the process, he said. Since we've taken the decision that as much as we would like the right sponsors, it's really important to build our name globally, and all the events that we've had at the stadium just enlarge the profile of this club. So for us, we want to find the right sponsors in the right sector at the right price, and in the meantime, unless we get that, we won't put a name on the stadium. Would rather just have Tottenham Hotspur.
Look for me, Mia, on this. Look, I think it should be called White Hart Lane or the Bill Nicholson Stadium. I think for me, it will always be White Hart Lane to me. Look, I understand business and naming rights and getting the right person in to do the job, Mia. So, do you think the NFL, with us tying up with the NFL to 29/30, Mia, do you think there could be a tie-in with the naming rights through the NFL?
Maybe, but I think he quite likes the idea of the name being out there, and like when people come to the stadium, they get to know the name. I didn't know this, but we're now the quickest, got the highest numbers of support in a short amount of time. So we've basically elevated ourselves in America. And I think that is down to the fact that we have got the stadium still with our name on it, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
I mean, look, we had a laugh the other day, Mia, about what the
Oh, it's coming up to 9 o'clock.
oh God, don't start, Mia. Don't start.
Watershed time.
Okay, I'm gonna have to take off the money, the making money off this stream now. It's getting into Mia time. You after
we're not
9
going to talk
o'clock.
about the Durex and the
Yeah.
and the Viagra.
Yeah, you do not give Mia water after 9 o'clock because she turns into this other person. So do not give her water or wine or any sort of alcohol or coffee or tea because she turns into this other person. Yeah, the Durex Stadium. Yeah, we did go that for me.
Protect your cock. Cool. Oh, you could have the our mascot wearing one like over him and walking around.
Oh, what would you call him?
Oh.
Oh dear. Oh, I don't want to know, Mia. I just don't want
Have a little think about that one.
Yeah, come back with something, Mia. We've got Wayne Bonner. I don't want some company, business brand, or whatever you want to call them sticking their name on our stadium. I love White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I look, for me, Mia, it should be White Hart Lane. Everything about that. It should be White Hart Lane, or it should be the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or the Bill Nick Stadium. That's it for me. I don't care. I don't want it to be called the Amazon Arena or the Google Arena or the Durex Arena. Yeah.
Or the Viagra, because they go longer and longer. We never stop.
And we've got a super chat in here for Chris Peters.
I like the way you just ignored that.
Yeah. I know I'm going to bring up Wayne's in a minute. Don't worry. I want to bring up super chat. Chris Peter, €5. Great show. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. It really means a lot. Yeah. So thank me. Do you want to say anything to Chris there? Thank him very much.
No, not really. Not my show.
Well, you can say thank you, Mia.
No, I do. We appreciate, every channel appreciates everyone's donations and support. Honestly, it means so much to us as creators because we put a lot of time into doing this and we couldn't do it without you guys. Otherwise, we'd just be talking to ourselves. So for you to also support us with like super chats, and obviously there are memberships available here as well. It's really overwhelmingly lovely for you guys to do that. So we very much appreciate it. And all of the content creators, I'm sure, are humble enough to appreciate it, I would hope.
Yeah. We've got Wayne Bonner here saying the Durex Stadium. Sorry, Mia, can you read through the comments?
Oh, okay. The Durex Stadium, because it's every team that every team that comes here, literally, or the Viagra Stadium, because it'd be a long, hard ride for the opposition. Yeah, Joe, what I said actually, Wayne, I said that they're going to get effed very hard and for a long time and be protected. So there we go. Tequila Stadium, my face on everything, like Bifco from Back to the Future too. No, yeah. Tequila.
Sorry, man.
That's right. We don't want your face. As much as I think you're lovely and adorable, I don't think that you we really want that. LBH, until many of us are pushing up the daisies, will be known as White Hart Lane. Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, so, and we've got Mia. I watched every show, TOT, Talk and Ball, and loads of other channels. United Spurs of America as well.
Sava, yeah. United Spurs of America, Bobby Kay. Yeah, big up to all those guys.
Yeah. And have you done Paul Brown's one?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah. That one. We're not going down that road again. We're really not.
We already did.
Okay. Yeah, we're down that road and stuck there. And Tottenham, the club that will screw you hard but have protection.
That's right. We'll screw you good and hard, but you're nice and protected. For your pleasure as well, Wayne. Ribbed.
Pornhub Stadium.
Oh, I love it.
I do. What's the big deal of calling it White Hart Lane anyway? It's built on foundations of the old stadium. For me, it should be White Hart Lane. It should. That's what it should be called. I'm sorry, mate. It's like going to. It's like where we're going, mate. We're going to the Amazon Arena. It doesn't have the same thing. Like if I said, Dave will say to me, "Where you going, Dermot?" I'm going to White Hart Lane. That means I'm going to my club. I'm going to something that means something to me. The Amazon Arena wouldn't mean dog shit to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? The problem is that people were moaning about us not having the stadium be like the rights for it. So I don't know what people really want, but yeah, for me, I think it always be White Hart Lane, just like other stadiums that have been redone. They're always going to be that, you know, the original name to a lot of people, and it's built on our old ground. So yeah, I think so.
I think the fans should do. I think the club should do a poll. What the new stadium should be called.
Oh, you love a poll, don't you?
Oh yeah, very funny, Mia. Do you dance with one, Mia?
No, I use Romero as my poll. You walked right into that one.
I did actually walk straight into that one, to be fair. And Wayne went, my pleasure. I had that on Saturday in the 100th minute. I think we all did. We
definitely did.
Tequila says, just like the new White Hart Lane 5 by me. It's not rocket science, Mia. It isn't rocket science.
Yeah.
Daniel Levy's saying, right, we have to look for the right partner. We have to they have to sample the atmosphere. Right? What's he want to do? They're going to go there. They're probably not interested in football or Tottenham. They're just seeing, how much money can we make out of this club? They're not going to give a shit of what's happening on the pitch. All they want is drink the champagne, have their prawn sandwiches, and sit there in the box somewhere, and just and play on their phones, looking at the latest stock market. You know, it should be left to us fans, us Tottenham fans, who love the club, who've supported the club, who have put money into the club. People seem to forget this club will only exist as long as we fans support the club. You can have owners come and go, managers come and go, players come and go, but it's us fans that keep the club going. And we should be given the chance to name our stadium. That's our home. Tottenham Hotspur is me, you, Mia, Philip Brady, Dave Harris, Jack Kanicki, whoever, people in the chat. It's our club. It's not the Daniel Levy Football Club. It's not the Enoch Football Club. It's not whatever. It's Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It's our club. And it should always be our club. And it should be down to us to change. And look, it should be either the Bill Nicholson Stadium, our greatest ever manager, or call it the new White Hart Lane, or where is it then? Or this one, Mia. What do you think to this now from Stephen Thomas? Nicholson Road Stadium because of the manager who shaped the club. That I would be.
FYI, I didn't want to interrupt you in like mid rant, but you definitely said prawn sandwiches.
I know I did. I realised I said nothing. I ain't going to stop. I'm just going to keep going.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Boom, boom. But do you know what I mean, mate? It should be left to us, shouldn't it? Or would you be happy to go to Leslie?
My problem is with it, Dermot, is that people want the naming rights done. That's the problem, is that people are moaning because we haven't had them done. So I don't know what our fans actually want. I prefer us not to be sponsored. I'd much prefer it to be named something like to do with Tottenham and to stick with something Tottenham. White Hart Lane, Bill Nick Stadium, whatever one we get, whatever one, but definitely 100%. So, of course.
Tequila says, I thought he said porn as well. Dermot's mind.
He said it. He definitely said it, guys. I heard him.
I meant to say prawn, not porn. Porn sandwich brigade.
You missed that. What Wayne said. He said, now we're talking about poles, Durex and Viagra. Now he was like, now this is the kind of stream that he likes.
Yeah, it says me and Mia in the same house growing up would be at World War III. Yeah, that I would definitely agree with. Yeah,
and he'd said he would lose, just like Jack lost, basically. Tequila.
Wayne says, haha, I thought I was the only one who heard that, Tequila. I think Dermot has something on his mind.
Yep.
Tequila loved the last 3 minutes. Oh dear.
Is that what she said as well, Wayne?
Yeah. Prawn sandwiches or porn sandwiches.
Whatever one's for your fancy, you know, whatever gives you the most pleasure.
I'm going to be clipped on that one. That's going to be clipped somewhere along the line. I know that is going to be clipped. Mr. EE is watching the CCV sponsored stream of Bayern versus Man United.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to see Man United turn this around. I don't. But look, Mia, would you the fan forum's the first one in 6 years. Do you think we need to have one every year?
Yes, absolutely. I think that I think it should be just through the good times. It should be through any time, and I think that the club should be held accountable, and they should be made to answer questions. 100%.
Yeah, and do you think the question? Now, a lot of fans are going to say, Mia, with these fans forum, it was selective questions. It was the easy questions for Levy to answer. Do you? I think Man United have equalised, by the way.
Equalised is 2-1. It can't be
2-1. All right.
Yeah.
Holland scored for United, so the United fans just told me. Porn sandwiches, Roy Keane would approve. Yeah, that's from that guy. But look, where do you go with this, Mia? Like with the naming rights and thing, do you think Levy's come out with this with any credit, or do you think Levy's come out with it with this? Do you know he's come out? It's just another PR stunt to just to crack over the cracks that are happening.
I think that I don't think that he'll gain any positivity from it. I really don't. I don't think that anyone will feel any better about him if you dislike him to a point. There's going to be nothing, I believe, that you're going to say. People are going to hear from his mouth that they're going to think, oh, actually, I think that it's not going to change people's opinions, but he definitely needs to do more. He has to do more. Like, they have to do these more often. They have to be more transparent, and he has to hold his hands up and take accountability for things as well. Because Andrew's already said, if anything goes wrong, it'll be down to me. If we don't get the results or get the achievements that I want us to achieve, then that's on my shoulders. So Andrew's already taken responsibility. Now it's time for Levy to take a big portion of responsibility as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so as
and
well.
I think that would go somewhat in a way to go towards people, maybe not changing their minds on Levy, but at least saying he's accepting responsibility.
Is he rarely accepting responsibility, Mia, or is he?
No. I'm saying if he did this more often and he actually admitted to wrongdoings, etc., I think that could go a little bit towards people maybe thinking that he is taking responsibility. That's if he did it, not saying that he has done now.
Of course, we talked about the ticket pricing as well. And what he said, the general ticket prices, premium prices have gone up during that period, which we've gone over that, Mia. Levy was asked again later to reveal exactly how much he thought was too much for a match day ticket, Mia. And he says, we're all very conscious of the cost of coming to football game. he would only say. As I said before, we are going to go through a complete review of all of our ticket policies, but we're in the real world, and the cost of operating a football club have gone up massively. We're all facing difficult times, and we've tried hard to restrict the increase for fans, and we will continue to do that. Look, Mia, it's a very touchy subject, and apparently the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust was supposed to do a protest against Sheffield United for that game now because of illnesses and people couldn't get there. The protest didn't happen. So my question to you is, Mia, is the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust fit for purpose? And secondly, if it isn't fit for purpose, what should go in its place?
I don't think it's always represented fans to me, and I've never felt like it was fit for purpose. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's any, I think there's not really many things you can do to sort of represent all of the fans, because it is difficult. But I always feel like with the trust, they don't act quick enough, or they just seem to do it for a bit of PR to show, oh, look, we are doing something. And then lately they've come out with statements that are a bit off key, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And not really in the tone of what I think is important in the club. Why didn't they do it sooner? Yeah, I'm not very keen on the trust in the first place. I'm not very trusting of the trust. And you'll see that if you watch my video with me and Sean and the previous one I've done about them.
Look,
so
I've never said publicly my thoughts on the trust, Mia, on the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust. And I think tonight I'm actually going to let everyone know my thoughts on it. I think they're the biggest waste of time. They're the biggest waste of space. They don't have. There are supporters trust that don't not for me. There are supporters trust for, I think, for, look, they do a lot of good work for charities, Mia, for the disabled and all that in the background. Look, I'll give them credit where credit's due. But for me, this supporters trust is not fit for purpose. It really isn't, and it hasn't been. Where were they during the Super League? Man United
that's what I'm
supporters trust
saying.
come out, and they were everywhere. Where was our supporters trust when us fans needed them? They're nowhere.
Can I just say as well?
Just one more point, Mia. Sorry. And somebody said it in the chat here, and Chris Peters, and I think he's spot on with this. The Tottenham Hotspur Trust is not fit for purpose. They're a PR unit, and I just think that supporters trust is not for us. They're not fighting for us. They're fighting for themselves. They're the ones that get tickets for games and do this and do that. Also, as I say, they do a lot of the good work behind the scenes, which probably doesn't get promoted enough, Mia, when it comes to disabled people and charities.
Yeah.
But on the face of it, Mia, they're not for you and me. They're not for the normal fan. And like they say, I think early in the season it was like, we're going to join with the league. We're all going to get one thing together, and we're all going to protest under the one banner. But that's not valuing all the fans. So what do you want to see, Mia, instead of the supporters trust? What do you want to see in its place?
Right. Let me go back to the point I was originally going to make before. Yeah. Is that we actually had somebody who was a former member of the trust. I had someone in my comments that was a member of the trust, and they left. One of them left because they didn't feel like they were represented by them, even though they was a member. And the other person who was a member said, we didn't get asked about any of this stuff. What's going on? I don't understand. It doesn't represent my opinion because I never gave my opinion on this, and I'm a member. So it just shows you that they've got their own little agendas, and it's whatever suits them, they decide to pick up on and say that they support. So to me, it's a complete fallacy of a thing. In my humble opinion, they honestly don't represent people. And the people who think that they do, I think I just think how have they really represented you? Because I really don't feel like they have. And
sorry, Mia.
to be honest with you, as far as, like I say, anything to replace it, as I said a minute ago, I just don't know if there's any way to truly represent a large majority of fans in a fair way, because I think there is just so many different opinions. But maybe somebody who is a bit more level and a bit more down the middle, who's happy to represent when there are big issues like ticket prices, like the Super League, and they will come out each and every time, instead of coming out weeks and weeks later for the ticket prices, instead of not turning up when it comes to, or not speaking up about the Super League. Don't pick and choose. You've got to make sure you do it consistently, and you don't.
They suit their own agenda, don't they, Mia? It's everything's to suit their own agenda.
Absolutely.
And look, for me, I've emailed the Supporters Trust to come onto my channel, to this channel. I've emailed them more than 15 times. I've emailed them in the last 2 years, or 16 times in the last 2 years, for them to come onto our channel and let our channel, like, I would do it as a joint stream probably with you as well, Mia, to get our subscribers.
They wouldn't like me because I don't like them. So they
no, but the point is, they wouldn't probably like me either, because we would ask them the questions, the difficult questions that they don't want to answer, and they didn't reply. Tequila and Tequila says, "Did the century reply?" No, they didn't. They didn't at all.
Joe, what channels they go on? Ones where they can spread their agenda. I've seen them on channels, and I've watched it for 5 minutes, and I've switched it off because I'm like, ugh, this is just, you're going on channels that aren't going to ask you the tough questions.
Yeah. You know, I tell you one thing, Mayor. You and me could set up a supporters trust, and we've been more in touch with the fans than they're not in touch with the fans. They're not in touch with reality. When we needed them, they weren't there. When we don't need them, they're like a bad penny, and they come flying up out of nowhere. Oh, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to protest over the ticket prices. Well, yeah, where were you over the Super League? Where were you when we needed you? You were too busy sitting in your high office, eating your prawn sandwiches. I said it right this time. Drinking your champagne, getting your free tickets for matches, wandering in there, high-fiving the next fella, and then half your members don't know what you're going on about. And then us fans are left in the dark. You look at Man United, at least they've got a supporters trust, Mia, that will back the fans. You look at the Glazer out protests. You want to protest against an owner, right? That's how you do it. Now, I don't agree with everything they've done, to be fair, but do you get my point? That's a supporters trust. That puts the fans first. Our supporters trust put themselves first, and we come damn well last. And it's not good enough, and it needs to change, and it has to change. It really does.
Like I say, I don't think it's that. I think they've got their agendas, man. They pick and choose, and I don't like that they pick and choose what they're going to support. If you're going to represent the fans, then do it in a full capacity. Don't go on and pretend that you care about something that happened. I think I did it when I did the video. I said it was about 4 weeks before. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks that the prices have gone up, and they said nothing about it, absolutely nothing. And then they decided, oh yeah, we're going to get involved now. It's like, really?
You talking to me about, you and me had the conversation about the supporter trust after you did that video, Mia. And I think I was as shocked as you were by that comment by that one person. We just couldn't get our heads around it. And Chris is right here. It's us, the real supporters, that need to be represented by all the YouTube show presenters and supporters. We are the truth. And it is the likes of us, Mia, your channel, my channel, Dave Harris's channel, Sean Butler's channel. We won't sugarcoat it. We would tell you how it is. because we
Plus
we
all the other channels out there. Let's not
Yeah.
leave, and we're not trying to say that anyone else isn't.
No,
You know,
I'm not saying that, but I was just naming a few off the top of my head, Mia. I did put you
I
in
know,
there
but
as well.
don't name people, because then that gets you into trouble, because then
I
other people
know.
get left out and everyone goes, but you left this person out.
Yeah,
We're not
but
trying
look,
to leave anybody out, is what I'm trying to say.
I was just using it as an example. We will give it to you straight. Mia will give it to you straight. She always does. I will. Philip Brady does. You know, we are Tottenham Hotspur. We're your supporters trust. Not all of us can do what we want to do, but we will give it to you straight. The supporters trust me is not fit for purpose. Never has been, never will be. And they can go on toward, they can do what they do and spout their PR, but it's not representing you and me. And that really angers me, that we're not being represented, and we should be represented. We have every right to be represented. There should be a proper voting system to vote people onto the board, onto the trust, by us fans, not by the selective few. What do you think to that?
Yeah, I think it needs to be, if we're going to have it, a supporters trust, then I think it should be more representative of us fans. And I think that there should be more real fans who do the representation, real fans, real proper fans that love the club, who want what's best for the club. I think they're going to be the best people who can represent us. And that's, I think, that's the only way.
Well, I tell you what, Mia, you'll have my vote if you ever went up for it. I'll tell you that now.
Oh my God, can you imagine? I think I'm probably quite a balanced person, and I think I would represent people quite fairly, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, Mia, I think there should be talk of setting up an anti-Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust. Do you know that? I actually do feel very strongly about that. But anyway, Tequila, so we'll get through few of these and then we're going to end off here. I've enjoyed tonight's stream, Mia, to be fair. I've really had a good time, and I love it when you're on. It gets a bit naughty and then it gets a bit serious, and then I get told off for saying something I shouldn't have done. But never mind. It's life. How do you feel about Everton fans have gone on about it, Dermo and Mia? Mia, look, I'll let you answer this. Everton being bought out by 777, who've never been successful anywhere they've gone.
He's talking about the fans, how they've protested. They've gone a bit far with it again.
They
I
have.
think. I think they're a bit too much. Like, I don't believe in, if you're going to do it, you have to do it all legally. Don't be doing things that are aggressive, violent. You know, don't do that. I just don't think it does good for the cause.
No. Do you think Man United is an example, Mia, how to do stuff?
No, because they did things as well outside the Glazers' houses and that. No, I don't like that.
So how would you? Yeah, it's a question we'll probably ask another time. But look, it's all emotions, isn't it, Mia? It's all emotions. It's all opinion.
Listen, I understand. I get it. But it's just the same as like my opinions on things like booing and stuff. I don't believe in doing stuff that I want to. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it the right way, the correct way.
Now, if Stephen Kenny was manager, I'll boo him. I'll boo him any day of the week because he's useless. And I suppose you with Gareth Southgate. But no, I agree with you with the booing. No player deserves booing, Mia, or no team deserves booing. I agree with you. And look, and I do agree with you as well. What some of the other fans have done is not acceptable. You have to do, if you're protesting, you do it respectively. You do it within the law, and you do it you respect other people.
Because you just get seen as hooligans, and then it just takes away from the protest, because people talk about you doing the wrong thing instead of talking about actually why you're there, and it takes away from the protest.
Yeah. Chris says, we've got a few came here. Chris says, keeping it real as we know what we want to see. Dermot, you're so right. Tequila, run for it, Mia. I don't know what, Mia. I would say you should do that, Mia. I reckon you'd be very good at that, to be fair. I'm being serious now. If it ever came up...
I don't know how that feel about me having a YouTube channel, though.
Look, we'll set up our anti-Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust. We call it Mia's President Mia. There you go. That's what we just call it. There you go.
Now I've got to think of something that fits MIA.
Yeah.
Mia's. I don't know, something associated.
Mia's inciting anal action. I mean, sorry.
Excuse me? So
Sorry.
bloody rude.
Well, you've started it with the Durex and everything else, Mia.
Listen, I never got into that far. That's a little bit far, that. Bloody
All right.
hell.
I'm sorry, Mia. I apologise.
That's fine. We'll know it's you. We'll know it's you that likes to take it up the rear.
Not really. No, I don't actually. I just back out all the time.
Do you beep when you back out?
No, that would be telling. That would. I want to, that's my little secret. I will back Dermot, and Mia says Chris, and then Tequila says missing in action. He says Mia missing in action like Scott Mon. There's another person.
Yeah.
And then Chris says, as that Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust stream said, we are firework hooligans. That annoyed me. I have to say.
Yeah.
And then Neil Shafton, up the arse and all. That's good.
Yeah, we used to sing a song when me and Jack were kids called we used to sing Arsenal, kind of a kickable. They wash their hands, they wash their arse and all.
Look, Mia, it is the North London derby. We've got loads of shows coming up. We're back tomorrow, Newspaper, where me and Philip will be discussing the build up to North London derby. I don't know if you're on with us tomorrow, Mia, or are you on the Thursday?
I'm actually not, but I am live at 5 straight after you tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll make sure everyone get over. And then me and Philip I'm on a debate show tomorrow night. I'm in an Arsenal debate show.
Oh, at least it's not a mass debate.
Oh, do you know what? I should learn never to get you on the stream after 9 o'clock. Seriously, just don't give her water. She's like a gremlin. You give water gremlins. What happens to a gremlin when you feed them after midnight?
They turn evil.
Yeah, you give Mia water after 9 o'clock. What happens to Mia?
Turns evil.
Yep, that is good. What channel is the debate show done? It's been streamed on this channel as well tomorrow. I'm going on to the Armory TV, which is an Arsenal supporters TV channel, but it's also being broadcast here as well in this channel. And I'm going on their channel on Sunday for the watch along, which is being broadcast as well on this channel as well. So don't worry, I'm not going to let you down, Mia. I will give as good as I get.
Good.
And then Tequila says it is depending on the time zone, Domo. It's midnight somewhere all the time. Yeah, it is.
That's it. Exactly, Tequila.
Yeah, and Mia the Gremlin.
Do you know what? I really like Gremlins, the movie. It's such a great film.
I like the
first one. Gizmo's super cute. I love Gizmo.
He is cute before you give him water after midnight or feed them. And then
Joe, actually, the best one is in the second one, the one with the crazy eyes. He's hilariously funny. I love that one. That's me. And he tries to eat all the food. That's definitely me. I'm that gremlin.
Yeah. Well, Mia, we are being sponsored, of course, by, let me find it. Where is it? Here we go.
Oh, here you go.
Go down to, oh, hang on. Let me turn down the music. There you go. We are being sponsored, of course, by Mugshots R Us. If you want to have a picture taken, just go to America and go down to Arizona or somewhere where he is and get your picture taken. That is evil looking, isn't it?
It's really scary looking.
It is. It looks a bit unhinged.
Definitely unhinged.
That looks like that will be Arteta after the match on Sunday.
Yeah.
Let me take his picture off. That'll give me fucking nightmares. And let me turn off that national anthem too.
Do you know what? He reminds like you used to get the what's the program where they used to take the mick out of everyone? They used to have the
Oh, spitting image.
Spitting image. He looks like a spitting image already character.
We've got Chris says the king, LOL. Oh, Trump. Neil Shafton says that reminds me of a start of Slapshot. Tequila just says China. That's all he used to say. China. And then we've got do you want to read that one out, Mia?
Orangutan.
Then we've got Tequila going, China. Honest to God. But anyway, Mia, listen, thanks. Do you want to plug your channel, Mia? I have put Mia's link in the description of the channel, so please get over there. Hit a like button if you like what Mia's had to say. Please hit a like button and the subscription button in here, and also on our partner channel, the Full-Time Sports Network. Mia, what have you got coming up? Thank you so much for coming on. I enjoy doing these shows with you. It is a giggle. We start sensible, and then we go loony, and then we sort of it turns into mayhem.
Those silly asses are up 4-0. PSV have been shocking.
Oh,
man.
How's Kane? Has he scored against?
Yeah, he's got a pen. It's 3-1.
Yeah, do you want to plug your channel, Mia?
Spurs Between the Lines. If you don't know, then give your head a wobble. Go over and hit that subscribe button, please.
Yeah, please, everyone, do that. Get over to Mia's channel.
I'm only 30 away from 1,100 now, so that's my next target.
Yeah, we're only 10 away from 1,600, and then we're only 400 away from 2K, so we're really on the march. Whatever you do, please go and hit Mia up. Hit Mia our channel up as well. We're back tomorrow at 4. Whatever you do, keep your faith. Spurs are back. We're going to beat the Gunners on Sunday. So come on, you Spurs. We will never stop. In Big Ant we trust.
Choo choo, all aboard the choo choo.